Welcome to the B Main, everybody. This is episode 14. I'm Gavin Grubbs here with Scott Shive. Timothy Watson is with us. He is just going to be audio only tonight. He's having some technical difficulties on his end tonight. But, Scott, let's get right into it because, man, this week was a wild week. Let's jump through the headlines before we get into the meat of it. Keelan Harvick jumps to 4-0 against his dad in the Harvick Cup with a dominating performance at Hickory and a solid performance at Owasso. Ty Majeski dominated the Slinger Nationals. Shane Van Gisbergen put to bed any final debates on who the best road course driver in NASCAR is. Hudson O'Neal picked up a win in the final night of the Silver Dollar Nationals at Huset's. And Matt Waltz picked up the Hampton Heat 200. And lastly, the Pennsylvania Posse stole the show from the Outlaws and High Rollers at an eventful Kings Royal Week. And speaking of the Kings Royal Week, I don't think we have enough time if I wanted to go in all of the headlines there.
Oh, yeah.
Scott, I was there. You got to watch it at home. What were your first impressions on the chaos that was the week-long show at Eldora?
Yeah, well, I mean, let's talk about the general week itself. You know, I did not think we'd see the craziness that we did, and I think a lot of it truly came from the track itself, it being Eldora, but also I think we saw a lot of the chaos and a lot of the calamity come from that divot in turn one. I think that hole, which a characteristic of Eldora and something that's gotten a little more prominent in the past year or so, and especially here with the sprint cars, but I think that hole up in turn one that while drivers trying to rip the fence caused a lot of the issues tonight, but we'll talk about those issues, but that was one of the things that did not cause the problems between Kyle Larson and David Gravel.
Yeah, Kyle and David Gravel that was Friday night, and that was the one night I got to spend down in the pits, and immediately after the race, you see a pretty big crowd around the 2 car and the 57 car. I was sitting in turn 3, so I didn't really see the contact or lack thereof contact really that got the two of those guys crossways with each other, but I look up on the big screen as soon as the race is over and I see Larson facing one way, Gravel facing the other, and they're sitting there talking. I'm like, oh, this might get ugly between the two of them. You know, they're both
It was ugly before that.
And, I mean, I was more worried what their fan bases would do than what they would do, because
that's a good point.
Sprint car fans, especially Kyle Larson fans, are passionate to say the least.
Yeah,
but
I want to know your thoughts on the incident, because everyone was mad. Viewers, if you don't know, everyone was, or at least David Gravel was upset because he felt that Larson was racing him, very hard and less respectfully than what Gravel believed was correct. Larson was throwing some pretty close sliders, but when you're trying to get a better seed and a better qualifying position for the Kings Royal, a race that pays $200,000, you're going to race it harder or closer than you would most other races. That's what Larson was doing. And while they made a little bit of contact, I don't think anything was egregious by them any means. And I'm not a Larson fan, but I'm not a David Gravel fan. But I really think we saw good hard racing between them, and Gravel just seemed upset.
And I think a lot of that has to do with, because you look at last night, the night before that, there were some injuries in the A-Main that kind of had everybody on edge. And this was night 3 of not the most ideal track conditions. So when Larson raced Gravel the way Kyle Larson is going to race anybody on any track, and that is without fear, I think somebody like Gravel, who seems to be more of a cautious personality than Kyle Larson, he was already on edge. And I think the events of the last 2 nights is kind of what sent Gravel over the edge. Because, I mean, you mentioned, he said, you know, racing like the way Kyle raced me, that's the reason Tyler Courtney got hurt. Is what
right. And
Gravel said after the race.
You and I talked about this after that tweet was posted, and I'm sorry, but those guys getting hurt, like Tyler Courtney and some of those other guys, it had nothing to do with the way they were being raced. I mean, that was an incident in turn 1. Everyone's fanning out into turn 1 off of a restart, lap 1, and something just happens. I mean, that's a racing incident. And when David Gravel mentioned that in the post, I'm like, I don't understand why you're pulling that into this conversation, because that is a completely different incident. I think a lot of that was from it being the first lap and drivers going out for $100,000 into lap 1, saying, hey, I can get the most positions right now. And and also, it's a combination of the World of Outlaw guys and the high limit guys. So you can't be saying, oh, well, your guys are whatever. It's like, well, you're all racing. And it was also interesting because Gravel was talking about this on a World of Outlaws night, and this how this racing was happening and how he was upset. And I'm like, it's a World of Outlaws night. You're talking about high limit and all this other stuff and these guys getting hurt. But it's a World of Outlaws night, and that's a sanctioned night. So it was weird. I just felt that he was really trying to argue and make it something big when it really was not big at all.
And I can see where you're saying, like, he's trying to, I'm not going to say instigate, but yeah, I guess instigate a rivalry between the two series. But as I was there in the pits on Friday, and even before the racing happened, I've been at racetracks for a handful of times a year for the last 10 or so years, and this is the first race weekend I can remember talking to drivers, not crew guys, not fans, not family members, talking to drivers where they were genuinely frightened.
Like about racing?
Not genuinely frightened about, like, oh man, I'm scared that I'm going to get hurt tonight, but they were very concerned about the track conditions, concerned about, we've seen one guy get hurt, I don't want to be the next guy.
Really?
I talked 3 or 4 people mentioned being sore from the night before from being in regs. And
wow.
When you hop into a race car sore from a wreck the night before, you're going to race a little bit differently. And Gravel was one of those guys that was in kind of a messy wreck on Thursday night. I don't think he was in that same one, but I mean, he had been in a wreck.
It was on his own. I think it was in the heat races.
Yeah, in a heat race. But I talked to Logan Schuhart. He had mentioned being sore. I talked to Buddy Kofoid's car chief. He said that Buddy had a rolled ankle and a bruised shoulder from the wreck with Tyler Courtney. Like we said, Tyler Courtney came out either yesterday or today that they had announced that he did have surgery for a back injury, and he will be out for the remainder of the year. So, I mean, these aren't drivers that are like, I'm not calling them chicken because they're not. These are like, sprint car drivers are the toughest, most mentally
They're some of the ballsiest drivers in the world.
Yeah, like they're the most fearless, ballsy drivers in the world. And to see an entire group, an entire garage area of guys that are, I'm not going to say scared, but approaching the night with caution.
Well,
as a fan,
it's crazy.
That humbles you as a fan being there because you're like, okay, this is bigger than, okay, one guy got hurt. This is, I think we saw 4 injuries over the weekend at varying degrees. And, we started at Wednesday, 64 cars were announced that they were going to show up. Ty Gibbs ended up in the CBI team, ended up being a no-show. I never saw any announcement or anything. So 63 cars showed up on Wednesday. Saturday night, 52 cars rolled into the pits.
Yeah.
9 cars left. And, some of them were due to engine troubles. 11, yeah. Some of them were due to engine troubles. Some of them were due to, not having a very good weekend and saying, you know what, we can't afford to go out here and leave after the C main. It's just not worth it. But you saw drivers taking a step back and watching sprint car drivers be humbled is something that you do not see.
Yeah. Well,
and it was just a surreal experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, and it's interesting, and I want to ask you, do you think that was because of how the track was in turn 1? Because I don't know that I've ever heard of Eldora being like this. I don't know if that turn 1 hole has always been there, because the big problem is you'd go to run the high line and you'd hit this divot, this little area that was kind of a hole, but it was just kind of a weird spot in the dirt. And if you hit it,
it was more of a hump than a hole,
right? And so if you hit it, you had to hit it perfectly right to get a little jump, like Aaron Reitzel you saw in night 1 of the Joker's Jackpot was using it to propel himself down the track into turn 2 and create a huge run. It worked for him well, but it was a risk every single lap, and we saw it get him on night 3. But if you did not hit it perfectly right, you were most likely getting into the wall, and the wall was sucking you in. We saw a lot of drivers get sucked in by the wall, and then their top wing would catch the catch fence. We saw that happen with Justin Peck, a few others, and we saw some huge flips. We saw some huge flips, and we saw big injuries. Has that been a thing about Eldora, or was that a first-time deal?
I mean, I remember bad track conditions at Eldora before, but not for the Kings Royal, or not really sprint car-wise. I can remember off the top of my head. I remember 2 years ago, the season finale of the Lucas Oil Dirt Series, there was some rain early in the weekend, and the track was choppy in Turn 1 and Turn 2 in that same spot, and it was claiming a lot of late models, which are a lot more planted, or not planted to the ground, like downforce-wise, but just heavier, slower cars.
Right.
That aren't going to get sent up flying in the air. And so you see that spot in Turn 1, that it's been there, but I feel like it's gotten a lot worse lately.
Well, it begs the question, why do you think after the Joker's jackpot, what happened with Tyler Courtney, Buddy Kofoid, all those other drivers, big incident in Turn 1, Lap 1, I'm surprised that they didn't, on Friday morning, go in and rework that part of the track and get that hump out and make it flat.
I mean, they worked a lot of the spot. They reworked the track heavily, like all weekend long, and it's not as much of a bump where you're gaining elevation. You're losing elevation when you go down into this hole. And to me, it almost looked like let's say you're standing in Turn 1 looking up the track, okay? And you know how normally on an asphalt track, the wall is the same height all the way around.
Right.
And so on a dirt track, the dirt's covering up part of the wall, and there is a portion of the wall that is about a foot higher. Not the top of it, but the bottom, the wall is, more of the wall is showing for a significant portion of the wall there in Turn 1. And so I don't know what they can do other than add dirt. And that's something you have to do in the off season.
Yeah.
That's not
something you have to build up the wall.
Race weekend. Yeah, that's not something you can bring in a load or two of dirt in one spot and even it out. You have to bring in loads and loads of dirt.
Well, you know more about this than me.
Track.
Why couldn't they dig up that part? I mean, dig deep and then repack it and reset it.
I think just time.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and act like I know exactly what they need to do.
Yeah.
But it visually, it looks like a spot where they don't need to get rid of dirt and even it out. They need to add dirt and fill it in.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think that's going to have to be an off-season thing. I don't think that's something you can do mid-season, let alone mid-race weekend.
And because they don't have any more big sprint car shows coming for the year, do they?
There's I think the Four Crown Nationals are still later on in the year, and that's a High Limit and World Outlaw show both, and 2 nights of USAC racing.
Well, you got to wonder, because I don't think it's as big of a problem with the late models or modifieds or anything else, but you got to wonder if they need to fix it before that event, because obviously you'd want it to do it in the off season when there is no racing, but I don't know. Like, I just don't know if you can risk the possibility of injury. I mean, we saw a handful of drivers get injured on different severity, like you talked about. Like, that is not normal. At any track you go to, the amount of drivers we saw hurt, even for a 4-night show, it was too many. And it stinks. I mean, like, it's awful.
One injury is too many, in my opinion.
Right. I mean, any injury is upsetting, but we're in the world of racing. Like, you know that something could happen. But, I mean, we saw the same thing happen over and over and over, and in different severities saw drivers injured. It's not like it was different racing incidents or different things. It was always Turn 1. Always. There was no other spot on track or anything else that caused a huge problem. It was only Turn 1.
And it was every night. The first night I got there, even before the first...
That was the calmest night.
Yeah, the first set of rain that came through on the first night, before the rain came through during hot laps, literally as I was getting to the track, like, I hear cars on track, I know it's hot laps, and we're going to our seats, and I didn't see it because we're still trying to find our seats at this time. Red flag, Ryan Timms totaled race car.
Yep.
And he goes to a backup car for the rest of the weekend. So, I mean, it was before the rain. It's not something you can blame on the rain or blame on the drivers. I mean, this is a track surface issue. And I know that they're going to fix it, but I don't know how they're going to do it, and I don't know when they're going to do it.
Yeah.
But it's going to be addressed at some point in the near future. You can't look at social media and the response that it's gotten. You can't look at the response from the teams and the drivers because, I mean, a 410 sprint car isn't cheap.
No.
I mean, sure, compared to a NASCAR Cup car, an Indy car, something like that, yeah, it's cheaper than that because it's a lot more accessible to run. But, I mean, if you tear up 2 cars and 3 wings, which some of these teams did, I mean, you're looking at a bill close to $200,000 to $300,000.
Yeah. Well, I was surprised. I was surprised that we didn't see more drivers not be able to race because of that factor. I mean, I know Hunter Schoenberg. He's a guy. Their team, not as much money as some of the other teams. They're pretty well off for his
because him and Kerry Madsen were both there.
Exactly, and so they share stuff. There's only so much between them, and luckily, Kerry Madsen had almost no incident. The only thing that happened to Schoenberg was getting involved in that wreck in Turn 1 on Joker's Jackpot night, but he wasn't in the air or anything. But he had his front wing destroyed, his top wing destroyed. I think they had to put a whole new front end in it. But all the stuff. But you got to wonder, there are other teams that had it worse than him and have that same kind of money and had worse incidents. I was surprised we didn't see more drivers not able to make shows because of stuff like that.
Tanner Thorson only raced the first 2 nights, and he ran the heat races on Friday night, and then he left because he had blown the same motor twice.
Yeah.
And they left for the weekend just to get ready for a points weekend with high limit. So, I mean, these aren't the small teams that are, Tanner Thorson. That's a nationally touring team that he races for.
Yeah.
But they're not. It's not Casey Kane Racing. It's not Big Game Motorsports. But it's a fully funded professional organization.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's not KKR. It's not Big Game. It's not Roth, which are the 3 biggest teams.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, let's get into some more crazy news. Let's talk about Gio Scelzi, because when I saw this, so I watched everything with High Limit live because I have Flow. I watched Dirt Vision stuff later, and so when I saw, I took a picture of it immediately. It came in for me, and obviously it was posted way earlier that morning. But for me, it came through on Thursday night at I guess it was Friday night, 1 a.m. And Gio talking about, I've decided to part ways with KCP Racing effective immediately, saying thank you to everyone racing the team since 2020. He said, not really sure what's next. I was like, what? Because this is right after the big incident where he got in a big flip in Turn 1 as well.
Yeah.
And that car was pretty much toast. And I remember seeing that, was like, my jaw was to the floor because I was like, he's raced with him for so long. And again, I've only gotten into dirt in the past year because of you, but you've known a lot of this for a long time. But I want to know if you had any insight into that because it seemed quite abrupt.
I talked to some people at the track that I know personally that are around both series a decent amount. And I was talking to them, and they said, and this is all hearsay. This is not fact. This is not, just word of mouth.
Yeah.
And they were saying that Gio's relationship with the team owner is solid, and that the relationship with their crew chief is kind of unknown, and that there was a lot of bickering going on in recent times. And with
between the team or the team owner?
I think all directions. Not necessarily driver, team owner, but driver, crew, team owner, crew, driver,
Yeah.
Just tension, chemistry issues. Nobody's calling anybody a bad person or anything. Just chemistry issues with the team. And,
yeah,
the first 3 years they were together, their performance was solid. In the last year and a half, they've kind of fallen off. And, you know, still up front, still competing for wins, still winning races. And I think Gio just, that big wreck was kind of a snapping moment because he went, I mean, immediately after the race Thursday night, he loads up his merchandise trailer and leaves.
Yeah.
Like, he was out of town Friday morning.
And I really wish.
Did you see his brother's tweet, Dominic Scelzi, who also races? So Friday afternoon, and this is, you know, after this comes out with Gio leaving his team, and then the crazy night that was the Joker's jackpot, Dominic Scelzi, who races out in California, gets on Twitter and tags his brother, said, "At Gio, what did I miss?" And I just thought that was the funniest tweet ever.
Dude, I was genuinely just jaw dropped. But okay, so
I think everybody there was.
Yeah. Like middle of like probably one of the biggest weeks of the year.
I mean, this is in my opinion, the second biggest week in sprint car racing.
Yeah.
Outside of the Knoxville Nationals. And a top competing team for the World of Outlaws and their driver just split ways mid-season. And Gio does have a ride lined up now, fortunately for him.
Hey, I probably have one of the last pictures of Gio Scelzi on 35mm film in his 18 car. I don't know what all professional photographers shoot film anymore, but I've got a picture of Gio Scelzi's car from March back at Magnolia Motor Speedway. He was one of the cars I took a photo of.
We're gonna have to share this on the B Main Instagram.
I'll send it to you.
Hey, I'll share this picture because I have to see this. This is gonna be great.
Yeah. But you said the news just came out because he said in his post he didn't know what was next. Yeah. Well, we know what's next.
And I'm trying to find the way to word this correctly because anytime a driver gets injured, it is not good for any party involved.
Yeah.
And in wake of the situation, Gio Scelzi will be substituting for Tyler Courtney for the remainder of the season at Clausen Marshall in the 7BC or the 7C. And that's a good team. I don't know if they're going to stay on the high limit tour as a team and Gio's going to run the high limit shows, or if they're going to bounce around and just kind of pick and choose and Gio run where Gio wants to run. I'm not sure the arrangements yet. But Gio has a ride from the end of this week at least until they go back to Volusia in January.
You got to wonder if because of Tyler Courtney's condition that they reached out to Scelzi with how big the breakup was between him and KCP. You got to wonder if they're like, man, Courtney's out. Like, Courtney's our guy, and obviously we want him back, but we got to do something in the meantime. And so his leaving of KCP was so public. You got to think, well, hey, I mean, Gio's had great results. His 2023 was amazing. Teams was slow last year, but maybe some of that's not on the driver. Let's reach out. Let's talk about it real quick.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Clausen Marshall, that's the first team I'm reaching out to.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the very first person I'm reaching out to is Gio Scelzi because he has been competing at a high level with the World of Outlaws, and he's now a free agent.
Yeah.
And when you get past the high limit full-timers and the World of Outlaws full-timers, there is a list of drivers that you can reach out to. There's some elite guys from Australia that are in their off-season right now. There's, the guys in Pennsylvania and California you can reach out to. But the list shrinks really quick when you look at people who are, operating their own team full-time or competing for a championship out west or in the Northeast. So the situation with Gio was a no-brainer, reaching out to him.
Yeah. Well, and you got to, again.
With that now,
right.
Emerson Axom is going to the 18 car with KCP.
Mm-hmm. Which I
Emerson
think.
Axom's hopping in the 18 for the rest of the season.
Which I think is a good opportunity for him. I mean, you said it. That 27 team, relatively new. It's not like they don't have solid. It's not like they're not solid, but the KCP team is more established. So I think that move for Emerson Axom is going to be pretty good because we saw him. He's not full time. He hasn't been full time at least this year.
He had a top 10 run on Friday night.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a fast driver.
Yeah, and so I think this is going to be good for him in getting a team that is solid behind him being able to really show people what he can do. It's really difficult when you have a new team, a team that's new to the series, a team that's new to touring, and you're trying to get both things ticking at the same time, rather than, KCP is here, they're set, they're good. You just got to get one on board, and driver is good, and then get them rolling. So it's not two different things trying to get going, it's just one.
And Gio is a young driver. He's 24 years old, so being able to go grab Emerson, who is, I think, 21 years old, they're used to working with a young driver.
Right.
And
it's not like you just pulled out Bill Baylog and you're throwing in Emerson Axom.
Yeah, no, like they have a young driver who is a good young driver, and with years of experience, and they're taking another driver who is experienced but young at the same time, and I think it's going to fit perfectly. But it then leaves you asking, who does the 2017 go get?
Yeah.
And I'm interested to see where that goes. I have a few ideas of who I would throw in the car, but nothing solid. I mean, maybe Dominic Scelzi, Gio's brother. He's running out in California right now. That's one of the first names that comes to my mind. James McFadden is about to head back to Australia. He's got his family over there. I think I talked to him briefly on Thursday, and he said, he's getting ready for his kids to start back school for the fall. So that's a non-negotiable. He's not hopping in that car.
Yeah.
I'm just interested to see
who
they
pick up. Well, and he just left High Limit with his team, so he's, at least for the while, he's not going to come back. I think he's really putting his family first, which I think almost all drivers are, but some drivers are more available to be whatever. And, obviously he's from Australia. And if you're going to try to run a series in America, you're not going to see your family a lot. Speaking of drivers seeing family, I did want to talk about Aaron Reitzel, because he did go win night one of the Joker's Jackpot night.
He had his kids on the car with him. That was awesome.
Had kids on the car, which I thought was so cool. But I really thought it was cool what he said. I think it was before that or in his interview, just talking about, they're from Tennessee. But, how him and his family do it, he said he's rarely, he gets to go home every week, almost. I mean, besides the West Coast swing, he's pretty much able to be home every week. And I think it's really cool because I love this about dirt, is that there's a lot of things midweek, and that these guys are able to do this, that are able to do it full time. They're able to be on the road, but be at home with their family and watch their kids grow up, take care of their family, and all that stuff. I saw another side of Aaron Reitzel. I didn't know much about him, but in his interview, I was like, dang, I like this guy. And I was like, and from there on, I was pulling for him. Aaron Reitzel might be my new favorite guy in High Limit, just because of that.
I like Aaron Reitzel. He was a driver that he's slowly grown on me. And there, I had no reason not to like him. I just, like you said, didn't know much about him. And the more I see of him, the more of a fan I am of him. And I mean, that's a common theme. I am yet to find a driver in sprint car racing that I just look at and I'm like, man, I don't like that guy. I haven't found one yet.
Yeah, I'd love to have Aaron Reitzel on at some point. I think I want to put him on one of our goals list. We said in trying to find someone for this week, I said, hey, what if we had David Gravel? I was like, that'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Especially since we didn't really agree with him. I don't know how that'd go down.
But I mean, it wasn't like we're saying.
No, but
okay, I guess we are saying he's wrong. But
I feel like David Gravel wouldn't take that so kindly.
I don't know. I don't think it'd be too bad.
I don't know, but hey, we're trying to get good social media presence, not bad social media presence. Who wants David Gravel going, hey, I went on this lowdown podcast and they were saying all this stuff. Boo, hate them.
I don't know. I was
going to say that could get us great traction.
That might be the best thing they could have.
Well, we'll never know.
He got the same reception and driver intros on Saturday night as you would see.
Oh my God, Denny Hamlin.
Yep. I mean, that's what I thought I was. The first two drivers I thought were.
He was sending out kisses.
It reminded me so much of Denny Hamlin.
Yeah.
And what's funny is, not a lot of the drivers. I mean, there were cheers and not really any boos. And then David Gravel comes around. They rained boos down on him. A driver that, yes, he is a local to Ohio, but I didn't realize was going to have as big of a fan presence there. Sheldon Haudenschild was the second most popular driver there. I think he had more fans in the stands than Kyle Larson.
Dude, it was crazy.
There was Sheldon Haudenschild gear. I was sitting in a
I'm not going to lie.
It's
a dope car.
Oh, it's awesome. And
Which I also have a photo in front of that car.
And, he's a local guy there in Ohio. He's a huge name. I got to talk to him. Super cool guy. Awesome guy. Just one of those guys you can't help but be a fan of.
Yeah.
And so that made me happy. And Rico is...
Did you get to talk to him?
I talked to Rico a couple times. Dude, I love Rico. He's the best.
Dude, you should have been like, hey, we gotta talk about our podcast.
I know.
Did you mention it?
I mentioned it to him last time I saw him.
Okay.
So he knows about us.
You gotta get his. We gotta get some more connections.
No kidding. I know.
We gotta get some more contacts. That's what we need to do.
I made a few contacts.
Okay. We need to get some people on.
We will. So those are all the big stories, but man, I just kind of want to talk about. I just kind of want to talk about the fan experience I had there.
Yeah, dude. Let's hear
a little bit because rolling
Which
in on
seemed
Wednesday,
epic. It seemed epic.
It was the most fun I've had at a non-NASCAR weekend ever.
There you go.
Racing-wise. And I would compare it, I'm putting it in the same category as the Southern 500, Daytona 500, Bristol Night Race. Like, it is same category as going to North Wilkesboro. You have that feeling when you go in the track that you are somewhere special.
Wow.
And I would say in racing, which I haven't been to that many dirt tracks, and I haven't been to a whole lot of short track, like local short tracks. But Daytona, Bristol, Darlington, Indy have that feeling. And yeah, I said Wilkesboro, right? Daytona, Bristol, Wilkesboro, Indy, Darlington. And Eldora is another track that has that same feeling when you go in that you are like, you get chills, you look around, you see all the memories that you remember watching on TV, and you hear voices of like iconic calls. You can picture the cars on the track when they're not racing, and you just feel like you're somewhere important. Yes. It's just one of the. I think it's my favorite track I've been to in anything.
Yeah, dude, it seems like so much
amazing.
Fun.
It's amazing.
I want to go to more dirt stuff because when again, in my only dirt race at Magnolia back in March, I had so much fun. And it was a smaller show for a World of Outlaws show, but like
it's still a fun time.
It was so like I wish I could have gone into the pits, but I was with some of my friends and they didn't have the money for that. But like it was right behind me, but it was crazy. And it was really cool, and especially now I get to meet some of these drivers and stuff. But it's just a really cool world, and I think it's one of those worlds that for dirt it's the top deal. But I think. It has so much more openness because it is quote-unquote smaller. So it is more accessible. It's not your NASCAR that has all these millions of fans, and which I think dirt has millions of fans, but just not broadcast everywhere. But like, it's just more open because not as many people follow it as say a NASCAR or F1 or like whatever any lower down quote-unquote series you'd say, but. Again, for dirt, this isn't the low-down series. This isn't a mid-tier. This is the best of the best. This is the top. And so I like how open it is.
It's so fun because it's, especially the Kings Royal and Knoxville National, this is the biggest event of the year. Two biggest events of the year. And you don't have to go through a crazy credential process, and you don't have to know a guy that knows a guy to get a pit pass. It is still one of the biggest events of the year, but you can go to the ticket booth, sign a waiver, pay an extra $30 or $40 and go down to the pits.
Yep. And
meet every driver, every crew guy, every media member. And I think that's my favorite part of dirt racing.
Yeah.
And so Wednesday was great. The funniest thing about Wednesday, so they get through the first 4 heat races, the heat races for the first duel, and they're rolling the 5th heat race out. 2 drops of rain, sun is still out, and then boom, skies open up. Like crazy. The sun is out, and it rains probably close to an inch in like 10 minutes.
Dang.
And I mean, we had a 2.5 hour delay. We didn't get back to our hotel room till 2 a.m. And then, of course, if you go to a dirt race, you know you have to shower before you go to bed. It's not an optional thing.
Yeah.
So we didn't get in bed till 3 a.m. on Friday morning after the Thursday night program. But I mean, it was Thursday morning after the Wednesday night program. But I mean, it was worth it. It was so fun.
Jeez.
Thursday night, I mean, that show was nuts. It took them over an hour to run the first duel on Thursday.
Yeah.
It took them over an hour to run a 25-lap race.
Yeah.
And Friday night.
When you told me that, I was like, what?
That was awful. Friday night, though, was probably my favorite night of the 4 days, even though Saturday was the biggest event. Mm-hmm. That's the day, like I said, I was in the pits. I talked to a handful of drivers, like I mentioned. So if you go to turn 3 at Eldora, there's a spot, and you can get right in the center of 3 and 4, and you can turn your shoulders back, facing towards the backstretch. And when the cars enter 3, they are facing, like you are making eye contact with the drivers as they drive at you and through turn 3. I'm pretty sure I sent you some videos of where I was sitting, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, I thought I sent them to you. I'm going to have to share them with you, though. They were amazing. Amazing views.
Okay.
You could, and I know people say this about every race they go to, man, you can feel the cars. This was different than just feeling. I mean, it was amazing.
Yeah. It vibrated through the wheelchair.
I mean, yeah, exactly.
No, that is really cool. I think it's so interesting about the pit experience and everything like that. I also thought it was interesting that just the Saturday night, the biggest night of the week, was probably the most boring night.
And it was still a good race.
Oh, yeah. But Macri just dominated.
What I want to talk about from Saturday night actually comes from the B main, not from the A main.
Hey?
Donnie Schatz started 14th.
Yes.
In the top 5 of the Donnie Schatz went plus 11 in a 15-lap B main.
Yeah.
To make his 30th Kings Royal in a row.
Which I thought was
in a race that has no provisionals.
Which I thought was the craziest stat.
30 in a row in a race that you're like, okay, well, yeah, it's the A main. He's supposed to make. He's one of the best ever. Okay, Chase Randall, who was competing for leading the Rookie of the Year for High Limit, did not transfer in. Emerson Axom did not transfer in. Parker Price Miller did not transfer in. Brenham Crouch did not transfer in. Kerry Madsen also didn't. Brent Marks, who has won the Kings Royal before, did not transfer in. And Cole Macedo, who has just won his first national show.
And is on a heater right now.
Monday of this week, did not make the show. So it wasn't like he was racing against, not the best of the best. The B main at the Kings Royal is like you've seen the LCQ at the Snowball Derby or the LCQ at the Chili Bowl. Any other track, that's a $75,000 to win night.
Right. Well, I thought it was crazy, 30 in a row. That's crazy. 1995. And the fact that Bro is still competitive enough. Like, oh, okay, that's the dream. That's the dream. Be able to compete. Like, I've thought about it so much with how I haven't been able to race before just because of money. And I'm like, man, I'm losing years. But I'm like, that's what I'm like. Even with pavement, I've got time. So we're good. We're going to be fine. Yeah. I'll have money in at least 3 years. Note it. I'll be on the track in at least 3 years.
As long as I get to spot for you.
Let it be known. Hey, you can. I trust you. You'd probably be one of my best spotters.
Spotting's fun on iRacing. I don't know if I could handle the stress of spotting in real life.
Yes, you could. You've gotten over this hump, so I think
no kidding. But let's go with the drone show before the race. So I don't know if they showed it on Dirt Vision. Did you see the drone show at all that they did between the B main and the A main, or were they in a commercial break then?
They might have been in a commercial break. Oh, you talking about up in the sky?
Yeah, they did like a light show.
Yeah. I saw a picture of it, I think.
It was super cool. And I'd seen a drone show before, I think, at a University of Arkansas football game.
Yeah, we have one in state.
Yeah, this was, I think, a better drone show than that one.
Really?
But drone shows are awesome. They're cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I still think old school fireworks are way cooler, but drone shows are still pretty cool. Yeah. It was enough that I made a note on it. And the 4-wide salute at a race like that, when you have the fireworks, the pyrotechnics going off on the backstretch.
You want the best.
It's one thing at a track where there's 2,000 or 3,000 people there and everybody has their phones on. 25,000 people in a sold-out crowd, and they had an app there. I can't remember the name of the app, but you would download it, and then it would hear the music, and your phone would do the strobe lights like it was an old school camera flash bulb.
Yeah.
It was the coolest thing ever. Like, I felt like I was in the 90s again at the NBA Finals.
That's so
watching
cool.
Michael Jordan. I don't know. It's just how cool it was.
Oh, my God.
Casey Jedrick that got on the pole. That's another thing I want to talk about. This kid's 20. First ever time making the feature of the Kings Royal. Started on pole. The night didn't go how he needed it to.
I was going to say, I was impressed with the pole, but then he fell back fast.
I think that's just horsepower in the car he was in.
Maybe.
Because, you have the inverts in the heat races, and when you have 4 or 5 cars on track, dirty air's a really big deal.
Yeah.
And, I think he just got out horsepowered. Once the track got slick, they reworked the track so it had a little more grip in it. And as soon as they dropped the green flag, he started just slowly trickling through the field all night.
Yeah.
But, I mean, still.
Oh, yeah.
He won his heat race, qualified on the pole, or not qualified, won his heat race, started on the pole for his first time making the Kings Royal. Awesome. Anthony Macri, Pennsylvania posse driver. We had all this arguing between the Outlaws and High Rollers. And the guy from Pennsylvania just comes in and says, all right, I'll let y'all fight, but I'm going to win this race.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take this big paycheck.
Oh, well, and he hit the wall a couple times. They had said his Jacobs ladder was just askewed.
Oh, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, he hit the wall. It was before the open red flag because they interviewed his car chief. And he said, the only thing I'm concerned about is his Jacobs ladder. And they had said, his rear end's a little bit off because he hit the wall. And and he hit the wall one more time later on it
didn't seem to slow him down too bad.
No, but it didn't. The only thing that slowed him down the most was lap traffic, but he still managed to hang on. And
speaking of that lap traffic, I thought Rico was going to catch up to him there with about.
I did too.
I think it was about 6 laps to go where Rico was really reeling him in.
It was like 4.
And I can't remember what lap car it was, but there was a lap car stuck on the bottom. And Rico was kind of rolling the bottom and middle, and the lap car was rolling the bottom. So Rico had to go further up the track where he wasn't as comfortable.
Yeah.
And he was making up a lot of time on the bottom. In the dirty air of that lap car, he lost like an entire second in like 2 laps.
Yeah.
They just ran out of time.
But, Macri just dominated 42nd King and $200,000.
Not bad at all.
No.
One fun little extra story I just want to mention. Parker Price Miller, merchandise trailer, had an entire rack. Not the rack of merchandise, but the actual rack was stolen.
No merchandise?
I don't think the merchandise. I think they had the merchandise put up in the trailer for the night, and they come back the next day, and one of the racks is gone.
That's so
Somebody
weird.
stole just a rack. Not any of the shirts on it. They just stole a rack.
Maybe they needed an extra for their team.
I don't know, but it is that is just the wacky. Because this weekend couldn't get any crazier, Parker Price Miller had a merchandise rack stolen. And Tyler Walker, driver, I just want to do a quick mention. Amazing that he's back racing. Not full-time, but back racing at major events. Tyler Walker, he...
the 69?
Yeah, he's had battles with addiction for the last several years.
I saw that. It was cool.
It's his first time back. He used to be full-time with the Outlaws. Great driver from the 2000s. And it's just a super, feel-good story. But there's been some... I haven't seen all the details. I've just seen everything on Twitter. But the team, or Tyler, I'm not sure which one, has not received all of their compensation from their sponsor yet.
Hey, maybe that's who the 27 needs to hire.
I hope not the sponsor. I hope you're talking about the driver.
No, I'm talking about the driver.
That actually wouldn't be bad because that's a new team that gets an experienced driver. See, I wasn't even thinking about that. And you mentioned that. I'm like, that actually makes sense.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm not against that, actually.
But his sponsor hasn't paid him out?
Yeah, so that's everything from Eldora, which was an insane weekend. And then other news in dirt. Jonathan Davenport, Hudson O'Neal got wins at the Silver Dollar Nationals. Hudson O'Neal's got a lot of momentum right now.
Yeah, he really does. He's rolling. What is it, 3 wins this year?
3 wins recently, yeah. And they're all over the summer stretch.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, we know it. The beginning of this year was pretty terrible for him.
And it was the crew, as soon as the crew chief came around, I remember we talked, I'm like, it might take him a little bit to get chemistry worked up, but they're going to be back competing as how they were. Yep. And they're rolling, and Devin Moran is starting to fall off a little bit compared to the other top 3.
He started to fall off back in May. Like, even before we got to the Dirt Late Model Dream.
Yeah.
And which he found himself back in the Late Model Dream, but like,
yeah, he's fine. I'm not
was
worried about Moran.
He was flying back in February and March, and then he was just another
RTJ
competitor.
Came around and got hot.
Yep, because RTJ was slow
in the spring. First half of the summer, JD was the best car. Right now, Hudson O'Neal's the best car. So I think it's really exciting to watch the championship battle on the Lucas Oil side. Yeah. Because the 4 best drivers have all been the best driver at a different point this season.
I hate that we haven't been able to watch. We didn't get to watch Nationals because we were so busy with everything with sprint cars.
Hey, this week they're at Fairbury for the Prairie Dirt Classic.
Okay.
A winner gets to drive their car from the racetrack to the bank drive-through with the check.
No, like they clear the roads?
Yeah, because the bank in town is like half of a mile from the track.
Yeah.
So they just, they get a car in front of them and they just drive their race car down the street in town there.
Wait, that's so cool.
Take the car to the bank and take their check through the bank drive-through to cash their big, novelty check when they win.
Wait, that's so cool.
And so there's 3 nights of racing over 4 nights of events there at Fairbury. Wednesday night, tomorrow night, we have the Flow Racing Night in America. So everybody's going to be there. You're going to have all the Outlaws, all the Lucas Oil guys, a lot of the guys here from down south that run, the Comp Cams Tour, a lot of the guys from the upper Midwest, and the guys from the Northeast, all going to come meet there in Fairbury. They're going to run on Wednesday. Thursday night, no racing. Friday night, Prairie Dirt Classic. And Saturday, the World of Outlaws gives us an encore performance for $20,000 to win.
Yeah.
So that's everything that's going on in dirt this week. I'm ready to watch these races.
Yeah.
And last but not least in the dirt, Briggs Danner picked up his first career win in the Silver Crown USAC car. We've seen him pick up a handful of wins in the USAC sprint car, but good to see Briggs Danner win a 100-lap race there at the Kansas State Fairgrounds.
Wow. Well, there we go. That's dirt, folks. Hey, we normally start with asphalt, but we obviously clearly had to start with dirt this week.
What didn't happen in dirt?
Oh, seriously. Well, let's talk about asphalt. Let's hone in. We'll start with the Virginia Triple Crown presented by Flow Racing. $20,000 to win to the champion at Martinsville. But Hampton Heat 200 happened on Saturday, and it was a wild race. Yeah, I know. Well, he had just won Dover the night before.
Led every lap at Dover.
8 with Miles the Monster, the trophy, in the Waffle House. And then came up to Langley. Which, by the way, he ran with Lee Pulliam again in his 03. I didn't know that Lee Pulliam and their team was not like, hey, we are Toyota. Because, I didn't think – I was surprised to see a Chevy hood on it. But, it makes sense.
So Lanny Bice has been running the Chevy hood all season.
Has
she? Because she's a Rev driver, and Rev's Toyota – or Rev is Chevy.
Wait, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, Lanny, the 03 all season has been the Chevy front end, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not going to put words in that aren't true out there. I'm pretty sure Doug Barnes is still running the Toyota front end.
It's the Toyota front end, but funnily enough, it has a Ferrari sticker on it.
Yeah, but that's Air Doug.
But it is the Toyota front end. Yes.
What would he drive other than a Ferrari, though?
I do not know. Bro is. He was so much fun to talk to at South Boston.
He's a unique guy. One of the best personalities.
But honestly, the Hampton Heat, it was a race.
It wasn't a bad race at all.
No, I think there were good moments, and I think there were some. Peyton Sellers, my boy, on the pole. Good job.
Didn't lead very long.
Well, that's the thing. You're not going to lead very long, most likely, in the front half. Because you're going to have guys that are more inexperienced go out there and be like, oh well, I can go lead laps. I'm gonna go
at Luis.
At Luis.
I don't know anything about him, but I know he runs at South Boston.
He runs at Langley mostly.
Okay, but I know he's ran at South Boston.
He has.
Do you know more about him than I do?
Yeah.
What do you know about him?
I wish I had my backpack of notes because I actually have a note sheet that I wrote down on him before the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200. But that's in the other room. From what I remember, he has run at Langley for most of his racing career.
He's pretty young, isn't he?
He's pretty young. I think it only spans a couple of years. I'm pretty sure he ran Legends, and he runs Limiteds now. He runs some late model starts, like this was his second Hampton heat. But he is a younger driver. I think he's under 16.
Oh, wow.
For sure. But he actually, I can't remember. I don't think he races at Langley always. He's run every race this year, but they've talked about him that he does do some announcing.
Okay.
I think they said it was at Langley, but I'm really not sure because he's run every race this year. But they said he did some announcing.
Yeah.
So, hey, he's doing mainly the driving and then some announcing. I'm trying to do the announcing and some of the driving. So me and him just need to play an inverse role here. So, AKA, I need a car. Somebody line me up, please. I swear I'm good. I promise. I can take laps at South Boston all day long or Langley. Hey, I'm not far from Langley. Let me know. Anyway, back to Atlee Weiss. He's pretty young, but I think he's one who definitely has some talent and has some speed. He won already this year at Langley, and I think he's running for a limited late model championship, and they're doing pretty decent. So I think he's a younger driver that is gaining a lot of experience. I think we have a lot of guys at South Boston that are like that, and he's one of those few over at Langley. And I think he did pretty solid for his second Hampton heat. I say the big thing for running a late model versus a limited, I think he definitely did burn his stuff up early. He did go up there, try to lead, and then you saw towards
saving like everyone else.
Towards the end of the race, you saw him start dropping back, and he did. But that's the thing about Langley. The more you run, the more you will learn how to save, because there are not many tracks more abrasive than Langley. And that's one of the things I love about it, the way it's shaped, the way it's characterized. You have to know what you're doing as a driver because you can't just go out and run qualifying laps. So he's learning, but he's fast. He is. So once he had led, we had a 3-hour weather delay.
Yeah, I'm glad I watched the replay in the car because I could just skip through the weather delay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I remember the race started around the time the heat races started at Eldora.
It's about 7:15, 7:30.
And so I was like, all right, when we get done here, I'm going to get on my phone and watch it. And then I opened Twitter. And I don't know why I opened Twitter, because when I know I'm going to watch a race, I try to avoid Twitter. After every race I watch, I have to open Twitter to see what people are saying. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? I'm going to spoil what I haven't seen. And then I see Chase Burrow tweets that we're still under rain delay. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to watch it tomorrow because I'm ready to go to bed. But yeah, so the two last things I want to talk about. Darren Krantz Jr., this is a driver you've told me about and you were super high on.
Oh, yeah.
Put an absolute defensive clinic on Doug Barnes for a handful of laps.
Well, I mean, we talked about it back at the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200. He put on a defensive clinic with
way
Matt
older
Waltz.
than he is.
Yes, he does.
I mean,
he races with more maturity than I have seen out of a lot of young drivers.
And part of me, I'm just going to poke fun at you just a little bit because me and you both have been guilty of hyping up every driver we talk about.
Oh, it's true. You way more. Wait.
Okay, no,
you way more than me.
But he, I take everything everybody says about every driver with a grain of salt. And then so I started watching him during this race and that specific battle. I was like, okay, this kid's got it.
He does.
And I think that was the best racing of the whole night, was that battle for position, even though it wasn't even a battle for, I don't think, anywhere even close to, the top 3 or 4, but it was like battle for like 10th, 11th, somewhere around that area.
Yeah.
But it was I think the two of them, that was the best racing of the whole night, except maybe Connor Hall and Brendan Queen in the last 40 or 50 laps, slicing their way up through the field.
Yeah, which was awesome to get to see them. I really, 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 really wish there would have been a late caution, because I think the battle between Matt Waltz, Connor Hall, and Brendan Queen would have been the battle of a lifetime. Like, Matt Waltz has run at Langley for a long time. This is his 11th Hampton
Aren't they all
heat.
3 track champions at Langley?
Yes. Yes,
So
they
you
are.
had 3 track champions racing for the biggest race of the year at this track.
Yes. And all at different levels in their career. Matt Waltz has been racing for a very, very long time, has always stayed with late model stocks. Brendan Butterbean Queen has been racing late model stocks past couple of years, and he ran regularly at Langley before the Cars Tour. Now he's up in ARCA, but he's only less than a year removed from late model stocks. And then obviously ARCA. Connor Hall, who is leading the championship points at Cars Tour. I would have loved to have seen a late race caution to stack them back together, to just see them duke it out.
I think everybody but Matt Waltz would have loved to see that.
I think so too. So, but yeah, they came up through the field, but by the time that they had gotten clear of most of the field and gotten through some lap traffic, it was pretty much too late. Matt Waltz had done a great job of controlling the field since the halfway break in the rain, saved what he needed to, and I mean, won his first Hampton heat with a bang after 11 tries.
And one more thing I want to mention, not only is Connor Hall leading the Cars Tour, he's leading the Triple Crown standings right now.
Yep, 1.5 is his average finish.
I'm sure it's been done before, but there have been not many drivers that I don't think have won both the Triple Crown and the Cars Tour Championship in the same year. Like, there's
Probably
no way
not.
It hasn't been done before. But if Connor Hall's able to do this,
I'm curious. I actually don't think there has been.
And the fact that he's in a junior motorsports car, I really want this year to open up more opportunities for him.
I would love to as well. How old is he?
Because 30-something?
Is he?
I don't know.
I feel like he's younger. I feel like he looks older, but he's a little bit younger.
Well, Brendan Queen's 27 or 28.
Is he really?
Yeah, I think that Connor Hall's a little bit older than Butterbean, but not much. I think he's around 30.
Did not know that.
I'm not sure. I might be completely wrong and might make myself look like an idiot.
I don't know.
But I would guess he's around 30.
Well, hey, look.
Cars Tour are back this weekend for a huge one, too. I'm so excited.
I know. Well, hey, look. Suarez out of the 99 next year. As much as I don't want it, because I think he might need another year in Xfinity, or just, I don't know. Zilisch is probably going to be in that car. That opens up a spot at Junior Motorsports.
I mean, I feel like right now that ride's going to be Raja Caruth's.
Really?
Just sponsorship-wise, and like, because he already is part of the Hendrick Cars sponsor. He's running the Hendrick Cars sponsored truck with Spire. He's performing, not great, he's performing solidly, but I think that Rick Hendrick wouldn't be throwing his name on that truck if he didn't intend on Raja to be running for Junior Motorsports in the next 2 or 3 years.
Maybe.
No, I mean, why else would Rick
I'm just saying
Hendrick throw his name on that truck if he didn't want him to run one of his cars?
I don't know. I'm just saying that there will be an open spot. If Zilisch moves up, there'd be an open spot, and Connor Hall could fill that. He could be one of those drivers that is in the realm of possibility.
And I mean, maybe Corey Heim jumps ship from Toyota.
Dude, he needs to be in the Cup Series now. Bro needs to be in the Cup Series now. He doesn't need to mess with Xfinity. He's ready for the Cup.
He's ready, but I mean...
He's ready.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Well, what I do know is Keelan Harvick has a 4-0 lead on his dad in the Harvick Cup right now. Who would have predicted that Keelan would be undefeated against his dad 4 races in?
And it's not like Kevin has been doing bad. He's been right behind him. I think the biggest problem for Kevin has been qualifying.
Well, I think Kevin said it himself. He's out of shape.
Oh, well, there we go.
He said after the race at Hickory, I'm out of shape. I didn't realize how old I was.
Well, and he can fix that. He's not too old right now.
Yeah, but I mean, when you get out of the race car for a while, you're not conditioned. I mean, he hasn't been getting reps in the race car over and over every day for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's a huge deal. I just think he's a little bit rusty. He's got to knock the rust off. He's racing against drivers that he hasn't raced with.
Yeah.
Keelan hasn't really raced much with these drivers either, but he's 13. You don't know what you don't know when you're 13. You're just going to go out and drive flat out as soon as you get in the car.
Yeah.
And Kevin's trying to take it easy. And part of it, he's probably wanting to race from behind Keelan to watch what he's capable of and to keep an eye on everything that he does instead of just being out front leading the race too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what impressed me isn't just that he led 99 of 100 laps, because, yeah, he's in a KHI car in a pro late model race.
Right.
Yeah. And that field had Caden Quapple in it, who's great. Jade Avedizian, who's in the Donnie Wilson car. Cody Ware, who's a Cup Series driver, technically, in the Rick Ware car, so he wasn't doing it against bad drivers. And Caden Honeycutt was in that race, too. Like, he's doing this against a very strong field.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I really would.
And what impresses me about him, because, I mean, I've spoken highly of him just about every episode of the B Main, is every race I watch him, he is better than the last race he ran.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight, before we recorded, I looked. He just won the pro division race at the Summer Shootout tonight against Scott McLaughlin, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Tyler Reif. Like, a race with those three guys, Keelan goes out and wins.
Gosh.
So, like, as we're speaking, he's celebrating a win.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
But, I mean, that's really all that happened in the short track world.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The car store. Hey, the Throwback Classic is coming up this weekend. I'm
so excited.
2 weeks from now. It's gonna be fresh off the rip in our next episode.
We're going to actually get to watch races together these next 2 weeks because these are good ones that we're going to get to watch together.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go to NASCAR.
Let's do it. Tim, you alive?
Yeah, I'm still here. I just haven't found any places to
I kind of was worried about you there for a minute.
I was checking on you.
I've just been listening to y'all. Yeah, I haven't had anything I wanted to say, and
there we go.
Yeah, y'all got it nailed down.
Well, I just want to make sure he was alive.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the first word I've said all episode, by the way.
I know. I wanted to check on you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to throw you to the wolves here. What did you think about the NASCAR weekend at Sonoma?
Oh, well, I didn't watch the Cup race, but the ending of the ARCA and the Xfinity races were awesome.
The ending of the ARCA race was exciting.
Yeah. I mean, Zilisch, the way Zilisch was able to battle back up after getting sent, I don't know if they call that turn 1 or turn 2. I guess it's technically the second corner.
At the top of the hill.
Yeah, the top of the hill. He got sent off the track, and then he managed to come back in third. And you know that the coolest part about that was coming out of the final corner. He's on the outside, and he just held it wide open, banged it off the wall,
and kept going.
Yeah, that was really neat to watch.
Well, I thought it was good because I think he deserved that win, and
he had a good
absolutely
in the Xfinity car too. I mean, Zilisch is finally starting to show the speed that everyone has known that he's had.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that the ARCA race also, gave him a lot more confidence and let him know that he is the driver that everybody thinks that he is. And when you're having a bad year, sometimes it just takes one race. Even if it's in a lower division or whatever, you go out, you do good. He didn't just do good, he won. And then sometimes you're able to carry that momentum back up with you. And hopefully he's able to, keep it with him, and he's able to have some more good results.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, it was a great ending at that ARCA race. So while it just, turning around showing speed. One more little quick note about the ARCA race. Kaylee Bryson made her NASCAR debut.
Yes.
I have been wanting her to make her NASCAR debut for about 4 years.
Which I hated how it went.
Electrical issues all weekend.
Yes, the whole
car
time.
wouldn't stay running.
Well, and she is a very prominent dirt racer, and you obviously know that.
And a solid road racer too.
Yeah. So I'd love to see some more stuff from her because she's running USAC midgets right now, right?
No, she's running Trans Am full time or almost full time, and then she's running part time in a Silver Crown.
Okay, it was Silver Crown. Okay,
Silver Crown. She used to run USAC midgets full time.
Okay,
and she's solid in the USAC midget. She ended up finishing 14th, but in her post race interview, they were talking to her, and I think on the fastest lap charts, she was 6th on a few of those laps that she actually got to run when the car was fully under power.
Wow.
Midway through the race. But the car just kept shutting off on her. I mean, nothing you can do when your car isn't performing.
Yeah.
So I want to see her back in an ARCA race. Hopefully with a car that's not dying every other lap.
Yeah.
Hopefully, most likely it's going to come at one of the 2 dirt miles, or it's going to come at another road course if she gets another ARCA race. Yeah. She seemed confident in her post-race interview that I saw. She said that she hopes there's things in the works and was smiling. So I think that means that there is something in the works, but nothing confirmed.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Well, let's talk about Xfinity. Because I think that was probably the best battle of the best race weekend.
I think that's been the best race in NASCAR in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
was Xfinity at Sonoma.
The back and forth between SVG and Connor Zilisch. I mean,
no one else was even near them.
Especially for let's talk about road racing. For Connor Zilisch to be able to battle with SVG the way that he does, with that nobody else can, truly shows you how good Zilisch is, especially on the road. Like, I saw a quote the other day that said he's not completely turning away the idea of ever being in Formula One. Like, and I think he's one of those drivers that could. Like, he absolutely could like, he used to race Formula 4 in Europe and karts in Europe. Like, he's done Formula style racing. But I just think he is really impressed in terms of being able to do what he does on the road, but also has really come into his stride in oval performance. He has got like 4 second places this year, the win at Pocono, and I don't think we're done.
Well, he just won at Dover.
Yeah, he just won at Dover too.
There we go. The won at Dover. I forgot that and I think he probably would have won it anyway. But there's a second win on the oval.
But yeah, he's done stuff that no one has been able to do to SVG other than either bad luck or Chris Buescher has done, which is beat SVG on a road course.
Yeah.
Because outside of races where SVG has problems, Chris Buescher beating him at Watkins Glen is the only other time
only one. Yep.
In Watkins Glen, to me, it's the oval of road courses.
I was gonna say it's the most NASCAR road course.
Like, I mean, obviously it is a road course, but something about Watkins Glen just feels like a speedway.
I mean, it doesn't have any tight corners.
They're all sweeping corners. They're all high speed.
Exactly.
And it's my favorite road course.
Oh, I love it. Like, but it is very NASCAR. Like, people talk about, does NASCAR need to have road course at all? How many should we have? It's like all this stuff. Well, I think a good number is 6. If we're asking the question,
5. I think 5.
5 or 6. I think I like them on the schedule.
Too many.
I think anything over than the 6 is too many.
Anything less than 3 is too little.
I think so too. But I think if we're talking about like road course themselves, for some reason, I think I feel what you're saying, that Watkins Glen is like the oval of road course racing for NASCAR.
It's like the super speedway of road courses.
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. But yeah, at Cup, I mean, nothing. SVG was just gone for the most part. There was a lot of wrecks. Yeah. And Ty Dillon made it through again. And he made it through at Dover.
We got the Ty and Ty show at Indy.
Bro.
And here's a fun fact. Do you know where Ty Dillon won his only Xfinity race at?
Indianapolis.
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh, dude!
I want Ty Dillon to win the $1 million so bad.
Imagine going back and putting $25 on Ty Dillon. Imagine the payout.
Somebody might have done that.
Imagine the payout.
I want to say somebody on Twitter.
There's got to be
$10 on him to do.
There's got to be, but I want to see the payout.
If only I would have taken it seriously, I would have done that. And I was like,
dude.
Huh.
But that's the thing. Who in their right mind was going to bet Ty Dillon over Denny Hamlin? And yet here we are. Here we are. So, but yeah, let's talk about Dover. Butterbean domination.
I mean, that's literally all it was Butterbean dominating.
Look, he is
Mother Nature
showing...
dominated the rest of the weekend.
Well, yeah, but like, dude, I think Brendan has made a very strong case for why he needs to be a full-time truck driver. We have always questioned the route of ARCA. I think we have found ARCA's new place in that drivers like Brendan, who have raced short tracks, they've raced with the Cars Tour, they've raced all this stuff, but they've never been able to show anyone what they can do on NASCAR-style tracks. I think that we're really, truly, we've asked the question, why ARCA? We've said, if you're try to go to trucks. I think this is what ARCA's purpose has always been, and that I think right now we're really seeing its true potential as a series. I don't think it's ever been worthless, but I think in the past couple of years we have seen ARCA just be like, you should probably just try to go to trucks, or like. But I think we're really seeing from Brennan why it makes sense for him, or drivers like him from his background, of saying, hey, I need to prove to people in trucks or Xfinity that, hey, I'm good on the short tracks, but I can get it done on NASCAR-style intermediate, super speedways, and road courses. And he's doing that.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. I'm just so excited for him.
I'd love to see ARCA expand into more of that. Imagine if we had more drivers
from other disciplines.
From other disciplines, yes, that want to make it in NASCAR.
Yeah, like let's say you're an ARCA team, and let's say you show up to an ARCA race, and instead of a bunch of kids, and nothing wrong with it being a bunch of young drivers, but let's say instead of a bunch of young drivers, let's say you show up and it's David Gravel and Connor Hall are both racing.
Yeah,
the ARCA race, and Bubba Pollard's there, Cole Butcher's there.
Yeah,
it's drivers who have an established career.
Right.
In another discipline, and you throw them in an ARCA race.
Right.
Or even somebody like Colton Herta out of IndyCar.
Yeah.
Because he's never driven a stock car.
Yeah.
You don't know what he can do.
But I think
he's a great driver, but you want to see him against other drivers in a similar situation. If you can take a handful of great drivers from other series who know nothing about a stock car on a speedway and throw them in a race together, then you can say whose skill set translates to NASCAR.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at young kids who are climbing the ladder, they really need to go from late models into trucks. But if you're an established late model driver, throw them in ARCA.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with you. So I hope we can see some more expansion on that in the next couple of years with ARCA. I hope drivers will be able to see what Brennan is doing and be like, maybe that's what I should do. Maybe that's my next step. Because it's like, hey, I can't get any feel with trucks. Like it's too much money, or I need them to be able to say, hey, we'll take some of the bill down because we've seen what you can do, blah, blah, blah. And maybe an ARCA ride is that, or an ARCA one-off. Like, who knows? So I think we're seeing some good potential for the ARCA Menard series for the coming future. Xfinity.
Speaking of other new drivers.
Yep.
Timothy, your boy Jake Finch made his Xfinity debut.
Yep.
Which,
hey, 17th in the 17 car.
With a shortened race, because it did look like before the rain they were really starting to move up.
I think
you definitely expect that 17 to be in the top 15.
Yeah, I think he could have made his way into the top 15 if it would have went the full distance. It looked like at first he was a little intimidated, which I think most of us would have been, but
it's Dover. That place is crazy.
Yeah, which Jake has established himself at Dover. He won the ARCA race in 2023 there, and he's comfortable there from what I understand. But I think he started around 23rd. I can't exactly remember, but he fell back early on.
Yeah, he started 21st.
As the race went on, he just slowly moved up, but then obviously the rain came. But yeah, I think a top 15 was definitely there.
I think so too.
For him.
Yeah.
Because he, like you said, he fell back a little bit. I think he was riding about 25th. Then I think the first stage was over. After pitting, I think he was riding about 21st, right where he started. And then he slowly started to move up. He finished in front of Lavar Scott and Rajah Caruth after the rain. But yeah, I think if we had those last 60 or so laps, I think he definitely could have gotten into the top 15. I think I would have guessed he probably would have finished about 13th, 14th. But for your first time in the Xfinity Series in a Hendrick car, which, I mean, let's be honest, that's a good car. It's basically a junior. It's basically a junior motorsports repaired car.
It's a Hendrick car.
Exactly, and so it's the best teams. You expect it to perform well, and that's a lot. That's very intimidating for a driver. But I think Jake did very well in it, especially for the race getting shortened. So, Lavar Scott.
And like another thing about Jake, just before we move on,
go ahead.
Is his performance was not very different than what we're seeing Corey Day perform in that car.
Yeah.
And according to some people, around Hendrick and especially Kyle Larson, Corey Day is the guy. And he's starting to perform better in the truck. Like, Corey Day's starting to show speed on NASCAR races. And so I think Jake being able to hop into that car bodes well for him.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know people are like, 17th isn't great, but it's not like the Xfinity field is bad.
And you got to look at the day. He started in 21st. He fell back to 25th, and then he continued to work forward. He didn't make mistakes. He was involved in no incidents of his own doing, and he wasn't involved in incidents at all. And he was moving forward before the rain. I would say for someone in his seat, he did everything he needed to do.
Yeah.
So for your first time in the Xfinity Series, no matter what car you're in, he started decently. He fell back, might have been a little intimidated, and then worked forward. I don't think you can do much better than that in his position. So I think he did a great job, and I hope we get to see him a little bit more this year and see what he can do.
And I have a lot of similar things to say about Lavar. I know he finished 28th, but the Alpha Prime 45 and the Hendrick 17 are not the same car.
Exactly.
Like finishing 28, finishing every lap. I think you finished a lap down, but finishing without wrecking the car in your Xfinity debut and being on pace with everyone else. When you step back and say, okay, he's in the Alpha Prime 45. It's a fine day.
Well, and I'd say similarly for Rajah, because that 32 with Anderson, I mean, they're not the greatest team in the world. I think Anderson, they're a little bit spread out. They run the 32, the 27, and I think sometimes they run one other car.
They run the 31 sometimes, but the 27 is definitely their focus.
Right. Especially he's fighting for a playoff spot.
That's the 18.
I think Rajah, again, he was like all three of the first timers in that race.
Rajah has some experience in the Xfinity car.
Oh, sorry. Well,
I mean, it's still new to the Xfinity.
Right. Ran a good race. Didn't get involved in any incidents. Worked forward. So I'd say for all three of the rookies, solid days.
Yeah.
For the equipment that they were in. So
not as solid of a day as two other rookies being Taylor Gray and Connor Zilisch.
Yeah, dude, I want Taylor Gray to get a win so bad.
I was talking about rookies
I've been mad
comparing them to the other rookies in Xfinity.
Dude, that is crazy. I have been so mad ever since Martinsville that Taylor Gray hasn't been able to get a win yet because Martinsville was taken away from him. Because I think Taylor Gray is pretty darn good.
He's solid. I enjoy watching him race. He's
I do
another
too.
driver. He's a driver that's been growing on me a lot the last year.
He's a driver that I see talent. I don't see stupid racing. I see a driver who has talent. And what is that? I think it's 4 poles this year.
He's fast.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's on a team with 2 rookies. Like him and William Zilisch are both rookies, and they're teammates. And he is the lesser of the hype of the 2 rookies.
Yeah.
And he is.
And I don't think enough people are talking about that.
And this is not a bash on Zilisch at all.
No.
Or even the rest of the Taylor Gray is probably the second best rookie in this class.
Hey.
I know Nick Sanchez has a win, but as far as actual performance,
oh yeah,
I would say Taylor Gray is the number 2 rookie behind Zilisch, and then
100%.
Quapple and Sanchez are 3 and 4 in an interchangeable order.
I'd say Sanchez with the win is probably at 3, just because Quapple has been unable to get the win yet. But I think if Quapple gets that win, I'd put Quapple ahead of him.
Quapple seems to make fewer mistakes and be more consistent.
Yes. So, but talking about Taylor Gray, I think he was in a perfect position. Did decent in trucks, got the deal with Joe Gibbs. Obviously, he was good friends with Ty Gibbs, and that part of that was before it. And that just happens. But a lot of people did not have expectations, or they had low expectations, and so that's pretty much the spot you want to be in. You don't want everybody to be like, because let's think about Zilisch. Everybody's praising Zilisch. I'm talking about him, and he goes out and he's having a tough year. And people are like, oh. But Taylor Gray, nobody was like, oh my gosh, Taylor Gray's like, he better do really good. They were like, Taylor Gray, okay. And then boom, he's out here.
Everybody had Taylor Gray in the middle of their rookie rankings.
Yeah.
And now he is making an argument as being in the same category as Zilisch. Like, not as good as Zilisch, but he is in the ballpark.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say he might be the third best. I'm not going to say third best prospect because Sam Mayer and Jesse Love are both pretty solid drivers. But he is a top 5 prospect in NASCAR right now. Taylor Gray is.
I think so.
Top 5 or 6. I mean, he is in that 3rd to 6th range.
I would say if you're pulling from trucks, he's definitely like top 6. I put Corey Heim up there, but Corey Heim is
above Zilisch.
Corey Heim might be the only one that I'd pull from trucks to be in the top 5. So I'd say Gray is probably number 5.
Lane Riggs is pretty good.
I think he needs more time. I'm gonna pump the brakes on that one real quick.
Ready. I'm saying his potential and what he has shown.
I'm still gonna pump the brakes on the top 5.
Okay.
If we're talking about potential, I'm saying Corey Heim, Connor Zilisch, Carson Quapple. Let's see. This is not quite in order as well.
Jesse Love and Sam Mayer.
Jesse Love. I would say Nick Sanchez. I think he has really, really shown great stride this year.
Even if we're pulling from trucks, I'm putting Caden Honeycutt in there. He's doing great.
Oh, Honeycutt, I'd put in there too. Yeah.
So you would put Honeycutt above Riggs, even though Riggs has more wins?
Yes, because Riggs is more erratic in his driving. He's less mature in the way he goes about racing right now. Honeycutt is very disciplined.
Yeah, and Honeycutt won the Derby this past year, too. We can't leave that out.
Exactly.
That is true.
Yeah.
So I think Honeycutt's just more disciplined, and I think they have a good same level of prospect, so that puts him over Riggs for me.
All right.
So,
and then Cup race, which was once again the worst race of the weekend.
Oh, wow, look at that. Wow.
They can't keep doing this to us.
Dude.
Well, they gave us the car to do it to us every week.
I was going to say, they need to realize there's a freaking problem when every other race is so much better.
I feel bad for SVG because he had the opportunity to start in the top 10.
I know. I was like, dang it. That sucked. That really did suck.
And then he cut a tire. Chase Elliott, Christopher Bell were fast all day. Yeah. Denny Hamlin won in 2 overtimes.
Dude, Bell.
Is this the year Denny wins his championship?
I'm not a Denny fan. You know this.
I'm not
either. We're not Denny fans. Look, we are also not oblivious. He is an extreme talent.
I think he's the best. I mean, he's the best driver to not win a championship.
But in terms of the championship, with how things have gone over his career, I don't think I could positively tell you that it was his year until he took the white flag in the championship race as the leader. Or the leader.
I would say when he's rolling down the front stretch, or I guess
so
not
to take
front
the checkered
stretch anymore. But as he took the checkered, then I could positively tell you that.
I'd possibly say it. I'd say it with one go.
It has been his year since 2016, so
he's cut a tire driving off into 3.
Yeah,
it's possible. It's possible. I don't know.
I think Denny has shown a little bit different personality this year than he's shown before.
He is. I think he's still riding that wave of the villain a little bit, but I think he's.
I'm not saying not being the villain.
Well, no.
He's showing a little humility.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Out of him.
That's what I'm talking about. Like he, which I think we do need a villain. I think we need some drama.
Perfect villain.
We need some more drama. Hey, that's what gets people interested in the sport. So when
everybody started liking Kyle Busch, we don't have a villain. I mean, we have a villain, Denny, but Kyle Busch has been the best villain in NASCAR in my lifetime.
Right. Well, and people still hate Joey. But
Joey's like,
Joey's not a villain.
No. I know
people don't like him, but he doesn't have that personality.
I know, but that's what I'm talking about. Like people, when something happens, people do comment on Joey.
I am great friends with Joey.
I know.
The fan base looks at him like this.
Oh, I know, it's ridiculous.
He's not a villain. He's a nuisance,
bro. And that, well, I'm not talking.
Joey is the Dr. Doofenshmirtz of racing.
I'm not talking about him being a villain. I'm talking about that people do talk about Joey.
Yeah, but I don't feel like he's not a villain though.
I didn't say that. I'm saying I'm not saying that.
No, I know. I'm just we're agreeing, but it's just funny. Okay. Ty Dillon, Ty Gibbs. Who wins the $1 million?
I'm okay. Who do I want versus who do I think? I want Ty Dillon to win. Everyone in the mama wants Ty Dillon to win. But here's the thing: in most instances, the reason he beat Bowman, Hendrick versus Colleague,
moved him out of the way.
They happen. Bowman's not amazing on road courses. Dillon put himself in a good position, made the move on the last lap, final corner. Then this past weekend at Dover, him, John Hunter Nemechek, Legacy, and Colleague, I'd say they're pretty similar in terms of their performance. It was a pretty good even chance. But we got a Joe Gibbs car against a Colleague car. And I don't like his odds just in terms of car. I think Ty Dillon, especially, I think Ty Dillon is having a season of all seasons. Take out the challenge completely and people rooting for him. I think even early this year, Ty Dillon has run the best he's ever run in his Cup Series career. Because up until this point, people asked, why is Ty Dillon in the Cup Series? When
nobody's asking that anymore. Like,
nobody's asking that this year. He has proved in this Colleague car that he does have the talent. He just shown that in the past years he just didn't have a good team behind him, didn't have a good car because they had less funds. But with this Colleague team, I'd say he has performed. I think he's performed better than his brother.
I'm not arguing that. I mean, I'm kind of on the same boat with you.
So, in terms of car performance, I think the odds are very heavily on Ty Gibbs, just because he's in a Joe Gibbs car. But you never know; he could get wrecked or wreck, and then boom. So,
everything that I've said, the opposite has happened. So, I'm not going to comment on who I think will win.
Good.
Because I don't know.
I will blame it on you.
We'll blame it on me for even mentioning the thing. When Ty Gibbs ends up winning, you're going to blame me for even bringing it up.
I probably will.
Even though he's in a Gibbs. Something would have to happen to one of them for it to not be a Ty Gibbs win.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. So, that's my take.
And then, last but not least, I just want to say Penske's IndyCar team is still cursed.
Dude, I don't even want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about IndyCar, but you can't look at this nightmare season they're having and not acknowledge
crazy. It's crazy.
Newgarden finally got a decent run at the first Iowa night, which he should have won. During a pit cycle, he got trapped a lap down. During a green flag pit stop, a caution came out while he was on pit road and got trapped a lap down when he had the best car all night.
Yeah.
And then drove back through the field, and then the same thing happened again. Only he didn't lose a lap.
That's crazy.
Like, it is so... At some point, it's like, okay, they have a little bit of bad luck here and there. But it is bizarre.
Yeah.
How bad their season is at this point.
Yeah. No, it's crazy.
For all three drivers to consistently have bad luck or mechanical issues or get caught up in someone else's mess every week. And then sometimes it is their own doing.
Yeah.
But all three Penske drivers are underperforming. They're making uncharacteristic mistakes. And the cars are not reliable.
Yeah. It's weird.
I don't even know how to explain it other than somebody went and found a witch doctor and put a hex on them.
I think they've probably given up on their 2025 IndyCar season and are probably working a lot behind the scenes at building for next year with the team behind. Because I think so. I think that's why we're seeing such weird performance from them, because they're trying to set up for next year.
And at the start of the season, I was like, okay, maybe the hybrid is messing with them a little bit. But at this point, it's just like,
yeah, wow.
I don't get it.
I don't either. But I don't know.
Let's look forward. Let's look forward to next week. We have one of my favorite Dirt Super Late Models events. I've already mentioned it, the Prairie Dirt Classic. Super excited for it. Bobby Pierce won it last year. Interested to see if he can return to victory lane for a second year in a row. 4-night event, 3 nights of racing. I've already talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, the Cars Tour at Hickory. Do you have any picks for Hickory? For the late model stock and for the pro?
For the pro, I've got to say Ben Mayer is definitely in contention. If Tristan McKee runs, I would say Tristan McKee for sure. If Caden Honeycutt,
Can Keelan Harvick get a crown jewel win this early in his career?
It's possible. I think if you put guys in there like Tristan McKee, Caden Honeycutt, the odds are lessened. But I think he definitely has an opportunity. I know.
Honeycutt.
I'm just saying. I think it's tougher. No matter if he's already done it.
Return to victory lane in the pro.
That'd be nice to see. She's done some stuff at Hickory in the pro this year more than just that last race. And if we're talking about the late model,
the late model stock's wide open.
Yeah, it's wide open. But obviously, you've got to think about Connor
You have
Hall.
your favorites.
Who else? Got to think about Minnie. I don't think this is Minnie's kind of track though. So
no,
I don't see him being
with
the
a high
biggest
tire wear
factor.
track. Chase Burrow might be a sneaky favorite.
I see. I bet I would also put if Jared Fryer runs. I'd say he might be a possibility.
Would that be his second or third win of the year if he won?
Third, and he's only made 4 starts. But he's a guy. He likes those high wearing tracks.
I feel like everybody's going to show up to this. They're going to have a stupid high car count.
With
50,000 on the line.
It's one of the biggest
is Dale
payouts.
Jr. running, or is he just announcing?
I don't know.
Is he announcing, or is he running, or is he just putting up some extra money?
I have no idea. But I do hope, and we'll talk about this more when it actually happens, I do hope this big purse opens the door for there to be more races like this. Because there has got to be more sustainability in pavement short track racing. Because we've seen it with dirt. There are good payouts throughout all of America.
Exploded in recent years, too.
I know. But so short track pavement racing has got to find a way to give drivers and teams more money. Because I'd be concerned that if we don't do that, we will more and more see only people that have a ton of money behind them are the ones racing. It would no longer be the average Joe that works the 9 to 5 or the kid that his dad helps him out when he can, but still works a 9 to 5 job, and they go race on the weekend as a family. I hope that we can find a way to make this more of a regular thing throughout the country so that pavement racing stays family oriented. Because I think that's where short track oval racing lays its roots. So, but yeah, I don't know. I think the late model stock one is wide open. So,
Timothy, you have any picks on who you think is going to be a favorite for either of these?
Well, I do want to say that we keep doubting Keelan Harvick a lot.
I'm not saying not.
And no, I'm the same way. I've doubted him a lot this year, and have been proved wrong every time. So I'm gonna keep doubting him so that hopefully he'll do good and keeps up this monumental run that he's having at 13 years old,
dude. Crazy.
So yeah, I'm gonna say he probably won't win, just because of how young he is and the experience that all the other people have.
Bro's hitting a wink.
Yeah.
So with being a year and a half older.
Yeah, well, every time I talk good about him, he doesn't run good. So
that's also fair.
McKee.
Oh yeah, that's a fair point.
So I'm gonna talk bad about. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna talk bad about anybody. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to see Keelan Harvick keep doing as good as he has been doing. It's been pretty incredible to watch. So that's my only take about it.
That's fair.
Word.
Also, one last thing I want to mention. I didn't mention it. You know what the supporting race is for the NASCAR series at Indy? Obviously, you have the full weekend of everybody. All 4 series are at Indy, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
The USAC sprint cars kick off Indiana Sprint Week on Thursday night.
Wow.
At the dirt track in Indy.
Let's go.
So not only do you have a full NASCAR schedule across both tracks, IRP and the Brickyard, the USAC non-wing 410s are on the 5th of a mile bull ring over in turn 3.
Let's go.
And I know
that'll be neat.
It's still going to be on flow. So it's not as big an event as some people think. But kicking off a NASCAR weekend, there's going to be a few more eyes in person on the USAC sprint cars than usually get attention to them. And I think them racing in front of a packed house is going to be pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's going to be a lot of people that get to Indy Thursday night and are camping in the infield. And they're going to hear the sound of race cars over in turn 3. And they'll be like, what is going on? They're going to wander on over there and they're going to see a great dirt race.
Bam. That's episode 14.
That is what we have on the B-Main this week. We got a lot to look forward to, a lot to talk about next week. I'm already excited. Thank you guys for listening. If you want any sponsorship opportunities, please reach out to us at our email, thebmainpodcast at thebmainpodcast2024 @gmail.com.
See y'all later.
See ya.